Welcome everybody, Cody Buck from Buck Builds here. Just wanted to give you a quick run through of the new semi that's going to be dropping, show you what you get and what to expect, quick tips on how to customize and make it your own. So I hope you enjoy this video and let us know if there's any questions in the comments. Thanks. So what you're going to get, you are going to be able to build sorry, one of these. This one is not completely finished yet, so it's not glued down. I wanted to be able to take it apart and show you guys what you can do with it. So you got your clear glass plastic to make window. You have your rear fenders and chassis cover. Have cab with holes in there for the mirrors and the air cleaners. We'll talk about that more later. Got your front end, fenders, headlights with little visors, your chassis, adjustable suspension, front and rear. We got 4 rear tires and wheels, 2 front tires and wheels, 3 metal axles, 2 air cleaners, which may have these little supports left in them. You can use an X-Acto knife and just clip them out. I try to get them all, but it doesn't always happen. 2 mirrors, might have a couple little supports left on them. Use an X-Acto to get them off. Be very careful because the ends of these mirrors are very, very fragile. Very, very small. We receive 1 fifth wheel hitch that you can decide to keep smooth like so, or if you want to put it on, it's adaptable with any DCP trailer. You have your interior, dual shifters in there, pedals. You might have a couple supports left on the steering wheel. If you do, clip them or use an X-Acto to cut them at the steering wheel first, being very careful that you don't break the steering wheel, and then clip them at the seat. Little bomber seats, of course, detailed dash, glove box, instrument cluster, and that should be about what comes with it. On to installation tips. So there's a few things I use on a regular basis. These nail files. So it is 100 grit on one side, 180 grit on the other. I mainly use the 180. 100's a little rough, but it does help in those little tight situations where you gotta get it knocked down. Nail blocks, polar block number 203006. Get them at Sally Beauty Supply. I use those to finish. They have different grits. I believe those ones are 200. Not 100% sure, but other than that, you will have print lines on your newly purchased cab. Well, the whole model that has any kind of curve to it, really. So you'll start with sanding it down with the nail file, 180 grit, and get them mainly knocked out, and then you will come in with your polar block and finish it off to where it's nice and smooth. I sometimes cut along this line right here and then down, so I have about yay much on the end that is just half of the file, so I can get into places like the top of the cab or the top of the hood cowl. This model also does have small door handles that you have to be aware of. For those, I use these stick sanders that you can get at Hobby Lobby. It fits about perfect on the underside of that, so you can get those print lines out. The doors have them going up and down The top has them going across. This has a few, I don't know if the camera's really picking it up, but there's a few lines on there. The hood did really good in print, so you don't have any on the very top of the hood, just the curves on the side. A little bit on the actual side of the hood, and then on top of the fenders. For the chassis, I just like to sand off all of these little leftover nubs and marks from the supports. This part, sometimes I use that half file method and use that to get down in there to get the surface very level for when it sits on top of the chassis. I will sand the bottom of the fenders to make them smooth. And of course, the bottom of the fifth wheel hitch, the back of the visor, the air cleaners, I cut the end of a toothpick off. I printed a hole in the bottom of these to make it easier. Usually when they're mounted, they're so close to the step that you can't see that there's a hole in there. So I wanted to make it easier for you guys to paint and customize these. There are some very light print lines, so I usually just use some light sandpaper to get that nice and smooth, or these guys. Other than that, the wheels are 2 pieces, so you can spray paint those flat black, paint those chrome, whatever color you want. I recommend Mirror from Culture Hustle. It's about $40, but a little bottle goes a long way. I recently dropped 3/4 of a bottle on my kitchen floor, and it was a pain to clean up, so I don't recommend that, but I highly recommend the paint. It's what's on all of this. That is brass tubing, just painted with the chrome. Brushed on the front bumper, so it's got some streaks. I haven't tried airbrushing this stuff yet, but we'll take this one apart to show you real quick, see if we can get this interior out of here. So, just a quick detailed job on the interior. Chrome accents, billet steering wheel just because. And that just slides right in there. Another hidden feature of this model, I left in a gap right here behind the plastic grill, so you can go in with some, well, I use a pipe cleaner. See if the camera will pick it up. So there's a little slot in there that you can cut that out and put that in. That is not included, so you will have to get your own pipe cleaners to make your own metal grill if you choose to do so. It's kind of hard to see. I'm sure if you had a dark colored grill, it would stick out a lot more. But in this light, it's gonna fight me. Other than that, when you're messing with these adjustable suspensions, this one along with any of the others, be careful when you're messing with these joints. If you yank on it too fast or too hard, it might crack it, so go slow. You know, grab it by the side of your wheels and pull up. I tried to make these ones a little bit more stiff, so if you do decide to put a DCP trailer or whatever behind it that's fully loaded, it's not going to just drop. Other than that, the back window, I use Tester's Window Maker. Good stuff for small windows and things. Just kind of fills it in. I used a toothpick and kind of ran it around the edge, and then you get another dab of it and put it right through the middle. Dries clear. Same thing I use on windows. The windshield, I lay my plastic So you look for your side that's more matte, not so glossy. Take the matte side facing you, put it over that, take a Sharpie, I use a fine tip Sharpie, trace where my glass needs to be. I cut it a little big to start, and then I trim it down as needed. And then once I get that piece cut, I lay it over the edge of, or the corner of a counter to put a tiny bend in it. And that suffices for that. Also, another little hidden thing, these stacks, I don't know if it'll pick this up, but there is a second little circle right here and a gap. See if it'll pick it up better on this one. So I made that to where it'll accept this exact size of brass tube, and it holds it tight. Oh, come on. No, it's not going to go on. There we go. So then it just kind of presses on. And it'll stay there. If you want to be able to take it off to ship a truck out or whatever, then you can just lift them off. It is a pretty tight fit, so sometimes after you get done cutting the brass tubing, you have to kind of take an X-Acto and get out the insides of the guts that you just put in there from cutting it. So, other than that, when you paint it, that little gap gets a lot tighter also. But I continued the stack down through the bottom of the step. And on the bottom of the chassis, you have a drive shaft that runs back. You have the exhaust pipes that come out and over that line up with the ones on the cab. Other than that, this is a really cool model that I had to put a lot of time into to get it this far. There's been many prototypes printed and made and adjusted, so I really hope you guys enjoy this one. It has the most pieces we've put out so far in a single kit. Yeah, I think you guys are really going to enjoy this one though, so let me know on Instagram when you get them. Let me know how you like them, how they're all going together. I want to see these things built. So I'll leave you with this. So this is the most recent Chevy Crew Cab long bed dually kit that we came out with. That one is selling like hotcakes, so I want to see what you guys do with that one too. We got the Rat Rod Ford, got the Mazdas with the separate bed, which I'm trying to work on some dancing bed stuff for you guys. The extended cab, the two-door Tahoe. I also want to do a video with you guys to show you how to accomplish a curved windshield when you're making your own windshield. So that will be in a later video. Stay tuned, and we'll see you guys later.